Well, also this week, former President Trump was in East Palestine, Ohio, at the site of that massive train derailment. The former president toured the cleanup site and spoke at a local fire station, donating cleaning supplies along with pallets of what he said was, quote, Trump-branded bottled water to residents who still were concerned about their drinking water there in Ohio. Transportation Secretary and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg was also in Ohio this week, visiting the site of that train derailment Thursday. Earlier in the week, he spoke with our Washington correspondent, Rashad Hudson.
There's a set of things that we need to do in order to make sure that there's more accountability and safety for freight rail. That includes things that we're doing as a department, things we need Congress to work with us on, and things that the rail industry could do right now. And I'm calling on them to do that. For example, there's a new, stronger type of tank car, which is better able to resist spills when there is an incident. A couple of administrations ago, there was a rule to get all of those new tank cars out by 2025. That got watered down by Congress, and now the end date is 2029. I think we should bring that date back up, and I think the railroads should go ahead and push that to happen.
What's your message to people who are concerned that the department was late to speak out on this issue? They're saying that transportation and EPA was late to the game and speaking out and responding to the situation in East Palestine.
Well, to be clear, our department was on the ground within hours, helping with the response and the investigation. Again, I respect the separate role of NTSB, but we have been on the ground literally from day one to make sure that we're doing our part to support. I do think that it's important to speak out about that, and I could have spoken out sooner, and I'm making sure that we are focused on the actions that are going to make a difference.
All right, Pete Buttigieg there with our Washington correspondent. Also this week, we're hearing from Indiana Congressman Greg Pence, who sat down Friday with our Kristen Eskow.
I wanted to ask you about something that's been on your agenda, which is scaling back EPA regulations. How do you balance that with accountability when there's disasters like we've seen with the train derailment in Ohio?
They're supposed to come in when there is a disaster. They're supposed to be available to help folks, and the slow walking of that assistance in Ohio is just unbelievably sad and inappropriate. But that's endemic of this administration and the incompetence that they show. They can regulate all day long, but when it comes to rendering assistance to the citizens they're supposed to be helping, they don't get the job done.
As we're talking today, we've reached the 1-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine. What are your thoughts on that and the U.S. response over the past year?
I've been very supportive from the very beginning on the humanitarian and the military front. Last spring, when we did the $44 billion to Ukraine, since then, I've wondered about the accountability of the funding. And when the president gave $500 million more dollars the other day, I didn't hear anything about more accountability. I think that's what we need going forward if we're going to do any more in Congress.
What's the best way to go about doing that?
I think you set up metrics, you set up people. We have folks go over there and maybe even make sure before we actually cut the check that we know where it's going.
Okay, more of that interview next week. Coming up next, we'll talk with our panel about Ukraine and the president's visit there this week. Then later, the bill at the State House that would make it a crime to be too close to the police. We'll hear some of that debate coming up as well. Stick around.